Hey, welcome guys to the sales process workshop. Hopping on a couple minutes early here, going to get set up and we'll wait for a few people to jump on. Feel free to send them the link. All right, all right. We'll just wait for a few more people to get on here. Appreciate you guys taking the time to be here. I know it's just a random lunch hour that I'm requesting you to be here, so appreciate you showing up. All right, all right. All right, guys, well, let's go ahead and get started. The purpose of today is I just inviting you here for about 30 minutes. I'd like to go over what I call just a sales process workshop or webinar. Really, my intention today is just to give you guys some actionable utility, some things that you can take away and start implementing in your business right away. I was going through some old journals, and that's kind of how I came up with this idea. I came up with the idea of bringing out this old workshop that I had done. I actually created this workshop when I first started my business, and uh, it's just the foundation principles of what helped me grow and start my own business, but also some of the core principles of what we teach every day with our clients. So thanks for jumping in. Going to take 30 minutes and give you a good overview of a solid sales process that you guys can run with for this year. So appreciate you being here. Today's agenda. We're going to go through a little bit of an intro about me, the company. We'll get into attitude, mindset. We'll talk about grading and fact finding customers properly, how to properly do a demonstration and proposal, objections, closing, follow up. And then if there's anyone in the chat that has any questions at the end of it, I'd be happy to answer those for you. So if you guys don't know me, my name is Michael Escorza, and I'm the founder of Valley Sales Coaching. I've been in business for just about 3.5 years now. I started my business with a customer-centric business philosophy. We really prioritize relationships. We couldn't be where we are today without them. But I love building relationships on mutual benefit, right? How can we help each other grow? In my case, I offer sales, training, coaching for corporations, businesses with sales teams. And when I can help you guys achieve your goals regarding sales, you guys make more money, drive more revenue to the company. And that to me is mutually beneficial. Okay. So our mission has been to reach and impact 8 billion people. And that's not just teaching people sales, but using our skills to be able to create opportunities to impact people who have less, right? So it's not always about teaching people things or transacting with people, but do we actually have the resources in our own life to be able to impact people, right? I know a lot of my favorite philanthropists are people who've reached success in their careers or businesses, and now their most important thing that they do on a day-to-day basis is impact people, donate, build organizations, orphanages, things like that. So our vision from the beginning has been to help business owners and salespeople achieve their personal, professional, financial goals. It wasn't until I started studying the process of sales that I started creating personal, professional, and financial goals for myself. I used to just kind of spray and pray, and I closed sales and we made money. But once I became more intentional about what I was doing, I started increasing my income. And our goals, I love looking back in this because our goal has been to grow and scale the sales agency across multiple verticals. When I started the business, I was mostly doing power sports and boat dealers. I spent about almost 10 years in the boat dealer space selling high ticket boats, 100,000 to 300,000 plus dollars. And, I saw the impact that it made on our students, and so I decided to step out of just power sports, boats, things like that, and start working with people that do real estate, insurance, mortgages, hedge funds, things like that. So all things sales, I've had an opportunity to be involved with, especially one of the biggest things in the last year and a half has been architecture, engineering, and construction. So I got a passion for that space as well. All right, so today we're going to talk about the sales cycle. 6 steps. We like to keep things very simple, and so simple that you should be able to advertise your sales process to your prospects. And when I say advertise your sales process, what I mean is it should be so simple and so black and white that you could actually buy a billboard on the side of the freeway and advertise, hey, we're gonna greet you with a smile. We're gonna qualify you, make sure we got the right products for you, and then we're going to demonstrate those products in a way that makes sense and is relatable. And once we do that, we're going to give you a quote or a proposal and what it would take to go ahead and do business with us, right? And whether you say yay or nay, we're going to ask you for the close. We're going to ask you if you're for your business, see if you've seen enough to make a decision. And if you close or not, we're going to follow up with you, okay? Whether that's with the more information or whatever that may be. So greet, qualify, demo, propose, close, and follow up. Very simple steps that you can be following to make more sales this year. So before we get into the foundation really of sales, I like to go over these attitude and mindset pieces. The first rule of sales is to always, always agree. I think it's very easy to be unagreeable, right? Or easy to disagree with people because of our mindset or beliefs or whatever it is. But always, always agree, okay? The customer is always right, okay? You guys have probably heard that. Now, this doesn't mean that what they're saying isn't incorrect or what they're saying isn't wrong. It's just that it's easier to be agreeable in the sales process, right? Service and enthusiasm. Enthusiasm costs you guys $0, but it will cost you everything to not have it, okay? So I'm sure everyone can remember a time where they went to go buy something and the salesperson had a terrible attitude and it just turned off the experience for you. You didn't buy, you went somewhere else, something happened, right? Something came between you and actually moving forward with that purchase. The attitude and mindset, okay? Price is a myth. People do not make decisions because of prices, okay? They make decisions because you or your product can solve a problem for them. There's no shortage of opportunity out there right now. I know the economy is crazy and a lot of things have been happening, but there's still no shortage of opportunity. Okay, so live with an abundance mindset. There's so much out there for us, and you need to have a can-do attitude to be successful in this, okay? And one of my favorites, A cubed, A3 if you're taking notes. Attitude, activity, and approach. So you need all three of these to be successful. You need the right attitude, the right activity, and the right approach. I like to scale myself on a 1 through 5 whenever it seems like I'm not getting my way. Use it as a barometer to check in with yourself. What's my attitude like 1 through 5? What's my activity level like 1 through 5? And overall, what's my sales approach like 1 through 5? Because you can have a great attitude, you can have a high level of activity, but your approach is off. Okay. You can have a great approach, high level of activity, but your attitude that day is just terrible. Okay. So you're not communicating with your customers like you want to. And you could have a great attitude, and you could have a great approach, but your activity simply is off. Okay. I think that's probably pretty agreeable with a lot of people. There's probably been a time where you're like, man, I'm just not doing that. Okay. So that's okay, but it's even better to be able to recognize it and see where you can excel at. All right, so getting right into it, the greeting. Welcome. My name is Mike. What information can I get you today? It should be quick. It should be concise. 65% of people have already done 8 to 10 hours of research. You might even be able to put yourself in this category. Before you've actually hit the store, hit the site, gone in and made a decision to, hey, I'm going to go ahead and purchase this, it's a good chance that you've done probably 8 to 10 hours of research. All right. The purpose of the greeting is to put the buyer at ease. I actually want to give control right now to this person, to this customer, so I can gain control. Okay. So a proper greeting is going to put the buyer at ease. So your customer is not lost. They usually didn't accidentally pull into your store, into your dealership, into your storefront, into your showroom because they were lost. Sometimes maybe, but most of the time they got a pretty good idea of where they're showing up to because they need information, right? So a good greeting will actually help prevent reactionary defense responses. And that's what I call an RDR, reactionary defense response. And what this is have you ever gone into a store knowing that you needed something, you were there for a particular reason, but you walked in and the salesperson said, hey, any questions? Do you have any questions? And you said, what? No, just looking. Knowing that you went in there with a particular reason, right? You needed something. You needed information on financing, on delivery, on how the process of buying whatever that is you're trying to look works. Okay. So try to avoid, do you have any questions? The greeting is an opportunity to be able to stand out. And if you can think about it, anybody that's coming into your storefront has likely shopped other places. And so it's you against the other salesperson. So use it as an opportunity to stand out. A great greeting prompts great response. Hey, what kind of information can I get you today? Oh, you know what? I was actually looking at buying a new, or you know what? I saw you guys had X in stock. I was looking to see what the payments on something like that would be. Right? So it prompts great responses. So a good example of an outbound call should go like this every time is, hello, this is Michael with Valley Sales Coaching. Good morning. The reason for the call is, right? Not, hey, how you doing? What's the weather like over there? Unless you genuinely are concerned about those questions that you're asking, don't ask them, right? Hello, this is Michael with Action Water Sports. Good afternoon. The reason for the call is you requested some more information about a boat delivery, about a boat demonstration, about a car demonstration. A good example of an inbound call could be, hello, this is Michael with Valley Sales Coaching. What information can we get you today? Oh, I need information on X. Oh, I need information on, ask better questions and you will get better answers. Let me just make sure no one else is dropping in here. Okay, cool. So qualifying and fact finding. We've moved on from the greeting. Now we're qualifying. Back in the old day of sales, this was, hey, find out where he works, how much money he makes, what kind of payments he can make. But what I'm actually trying to do in the qualifying and fact finding process is learn how to make sense of a deal and qualify this person's reason for wanting to buy. I like this saying, assume they know what they want, but not why they want it. Write that down and ponder that later. Assume they know what they want, but not exactly why they want it. They know they want the red Porsche, but they don't know exactly what it is that truly is going to inspire them to pull the trigger on it. Okay, so I'm going to use this opportunity to discover buying patterns. And my father, he was a criminal investigator for 25 years. You know, he was a law enforcement officer. And I stole this from them, but they like to return to the scene of the crime. They want to understand what happened and what the dominant buying motive was, what the motive was for the homicide, for the whatever happened, right? So what is your customer's DBM? Write this down, dominant buying motive. The purpose of qualifying is to determine the right product, make sure that we can fulfill that, and also know how to structure a formal proposal. So how can I use the things that they're telling me and put this in a formal quote or a proposal so that when I propose it to them, they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Let's hook up. You're also going to use this to know how to justify the close. I'm going to discover buying patterns. figure out what they like to buy, how they like to buy it, new, used, financed. And asking hard questions in this process builds a lot of trust. So mistakes that happen often in this process are not asking quality questions and not getting real answers. And when I say not getting real answers is, hey, you know what did your old car have that your new car, what did your old car have that your new car does not need? Well, I don't know. I just need an upgrade. Well, tell me what you mean when you say that. Like, because I don't know isn't a real answer, right? So always probe on the answers that you're getting because you'll find that the initial answer, initial response is very surface level. And if you could just ask like, well, hey, what do you mean when you say that? It's usually going to get you just that step underneath, which is the real answer. Okay, so not asking relevant questions or asking bad questions. Hey, how much do you make? Where do you work? What kind of payments are you looking for? You might be thinking, well, why wouldn't I ask him what kind of payments he's looking for? What if he's looking to spend a certain amount in a payment range? Well, we're going to set this up, right? Right now, we're just understanding the buyer. And also, like I said, not digging. Hey, why? Tell me about that. Well, when you say this, what do you mean by that? It's going to bring out good information. In this process, you're really talking 40%, and client customers should be talking 60%. So great qualifying questions. Hey, tell me about the first time you purchased a home. Tell me about the first time you bought insurance. Tell me about the last time that you bought a home. Tell me about the last time you bought a boat. Tell me about the last time you purchased a car. Okay, tell me about the last time you had a massage service like this. What did you have in your last house that you must have in your new house? What do you currently don't have in your home that you wish you had? What do you currently have that you found out that you just really don't need? Right? Write these down. These are good questions that will open somebody up. Hey, and if money was no barrier, what would you like to have? The reason I like to ask this is because people put their own budget constraints on them for a particular reason or another. But this question lets them delve into, man, if money was no barrier, I didn't really care about the budget, I'd like to have this. So I like to ask that because it puts them in a frame of mind and it paints a picture for them like, this is what I would really like because maybe they have the money for it. They're just not sure if they want to spend it. Okay. So if money was no barrier, what would you like to have? And wife says, oh, well, man, if money was no barrier, we'd actually like to have the 8,000 square foot house with the guest mother-in-law and the large swimming pool and the this. But we're just not really sure if we want to spend that much right now. So what you heard is just, man, we got the money to spend it. We're just not sure if we want to do that right now. So keep that in mind. Might be something you can show them later. Okay, so hard questions. Hey, who else would be involved in a decision like this? I know we're talking about $1.5 million, on this home, on this car, on this boat, on this insurance policy. Who else would be involved in making a decision like this? I can't imagine it's only you. Oh, no, it's just me, Mike. Okay, great. You see why that's a good, hard question? What if they say, oh, you know what, Mike, I'd actually need to talk to my business partner about something like this. Hey, great. Now we're finding out more. Okay. Hey, tell me about the last time you invested in something like this. Say you're a real estate fund and you're fielding calls with investors. Hey, tell me about the last time you invested $50,000 in a project like this. Why this house? Why this investment? Why this car? Why this home? And why now? You said you've been looking for 2 years. Like, why now? I'm just curious. And let me tell you, like, how do you make sense of spending $1.2 million on a house? That's a hard question, guys, but it's going to bring good answers. Okay. Is there any reason you changed your mind, about making a decision like this? How liquid are you? You might be thinking, Mike, that's a scary question, man. I ain't going to ask that dude how liquid he is. Why not? You don't mean any harm by it. And if you frame this question in a positive way, what's so wrong? Right? A lot of sales is building this muscle, right, that you didn't really know you had. Why didn't you buy our product? Hey, you said you looked at a service with us about a year ago. Let me ask you, why didn't you buy back then? Hey, it looks like you came into our dealership a couple years ago and we showed you this model, but you didn't end up doing anything. Let me ask you, why didn't you end up buying our product that day? Good questions. Product demonstration, present your product, right? The next step of the sales process. So your demo should be very relatable. I'm actually using keywords that I've heard in my qualifying process to make it relatable in the demonstration process. So the goal here is to super freak your presentation, right? Like get these people thinking, man, this person, they're a little crazy. Something's a little different about them. They're a little too happy, right? The definition of a demonstration is to show improved value or efficiency. Okay, so for you engineers in the room, show improved value or efficiency with the demonstration. Feature, advantage, and benefit. There's a good chance that you've talked too long throughout one of your demonstrations. So if you could break your features down, present an advantage, and directly correlate a benefit to that, your sales process throughout your demonstration is going to go much easier. So what's the feature, right? What is the advantage? And then what is the benefit? So the feature of, say, a boat could be, well, it's got an automatic surf system. That's the feature. The advantage is that you have a wake surf system at the push of a button. And the benefit, very easy days on the water. Maximum people get to ride with little to no effort. Feature, advantage, benefit. Break these things down and talk in feature, advantage, benefit. Keep it tight. Because the demo should be lean but not rushed and always be in control of your demonstration. So just like our sales process that we're going through, we have a plan and your demo should be pre-planned. So if you're taking a car demo, a house demonstration, a boat demonstration, you know exactly what you're going to say and what process of showing you're going to go through throughout the demonstration. So always do the demonstration before negotiating. Hey, listen, I wouldn't expect you to make a sense of $150,000 until you actually got in it and drove it and actually experienced what it was like. Hey, wouldn't actually expect you to make a decision on a $2 million home unless you actually got in, touched it, felt it, and they could make a better decision from there. Right? So before you like to negotiate, always demonstrate. Listen, disregard the numbers right now. I wouldn't expect you to make sense of this being $1,000 if it wasn't truly everything that you needed and were looking for. Okay, so let's put price aside and let's just go have a look at it first. We'll make sure the price is right if it's right. Okay, so be sure the product's ready to present. It's clean, it's ready to present. Always drive the demo first. So if you're showing a house, always walk that presentation and do your deal before you set them free. You're driving a boat demo, always take them through that demo before you set them loose in the driver's wheel, okay? Because it's at this time where it might be natural to just say, okay, yeah, like have a free for all, but we're still in a process. And if you don't have this process, you won't ever truly be able to translate the value that you're trying to give, okay? So always maintain control. In this process, I'm going to start asking trial questions. Hey, have you seen enough to make a decision? Hey, how do you feel about the red? I know you said you weren't a fan of red. How do you feel about it now that we're here? Oh, you know what? I didn't like it at first, but now that we're out here, it's kind of growing on me. You see why that could be a good question? Hey, I know you said you wouldn't really consider anything over the $200,000 mark, but listen, I found this boat here. It's available. I found this home here. It's available. It's only $100,000 over your budget, but it would only change the payments by X amount. Would you consider at least taking a look at it? Hey, how do you make sense of $1.5 million? Oftentimes, you're going to really hit this bone where people say, you know what? I love it, man. It's the house of my dreams. I've actually been waiting so long for something like this. I've never been able to always get the top of the line one. And I always want the top of the line. Now I'm in a position I can do it. Hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being absolutely not, this isn't the right product, 10 being, yes, I'm ready to go, let's hook up. Where do you stand? Oh, Mike, I think it's a 6 or a 7. Good answer. Hey, I love a 6 or a 7. Let me ask you, what would take you to a 10? Do you see how I can start chaining these trial closes? So more on product demonstration. In sales, it's okay to assume. People say don't assume. You make an ass out of you and me. It's okay to assume in sales because sales is the assumption of the future, right? It's a language of agreement and ownership. So it's important to have confidence in your demonstration. I want to create mental ownership by saying things like, hey, your new house, your new phone, your new roof, your new bag, your new car, your new boat. And I'm going to do my best to get their senses involved. Have you ever looked at something really expensive and you're like, dang, that's nice. And then you touched it and you're like, whoa, that's really nice. So get their senses involved. Okay. Mistakes, not doing a demonstration. Big mistake. Oh, they said they're not buying today. I'm not going to do a demo. I'm overqualifying them. They said that it might be a little bit out of their budget, so I'm not even bother. I'm just not going to do the demonstration. I overqualified them just based off of something that they said, whether it was true or not. Demo doesn't work. Yeah, demos don't work, man. If they want to buy it, they're going to buy it. Okay, big mistake. Sometimes you, as a salesperson, take your product and your process simply for granted. You believe that price is important. Maybe that people only make decisions on price. Maybe because you only make decisions on price. Okay, using slang, manufacturer's terms. A lot of people don't understand what that means. So no slang. Mistake is not using feature, advantage, benefits, so we can be really clear about our delivery. And then the why. I like to probe and find out why this, why now. Next step, the proposal, the road to the close. Every customer, every time gets a proposal. Well, Mike, I don't want to invest time. I don't want to invest time in that, man. They said they weren't buying for 6 months. Well, let me ask you, how are they supposed to know what it takes to buy if you never put them in that situation? So every customer, every time gets a proposal. Present an offer to every buyer, every time, every situation, no exceptions. Okay. People believe what they see, not what they hear. You're a much more believable person when you show stable data, not when you're just yapping. Okay. So a proposal is going to open the door for negotiation and insist the customer look at numbers. Hey, Mike, I'm not buying today, man. We just really came to take a look. I don't really want to waste your time. You know what I mean? We're really not looking to do anything. I'm going to insist, hey, sir, John, I appreciate you being considerate of my time, but I promise you it takes no time to look and it costs you nothing to look. Follow me this way. Let's head inside. Let me get you some numbers. So when you are ready to make a decision on something like this, you got all the information you need to be able to make a decision. Follow me. Simple as that. Costs you nothing to look, right? And opening the door for negotiation, you hand over this proposal, starts creating mental ownership. Start talking about deposits. Hey, it would be a $500 deposit, it'd be a $1,000 deposit to secure this boat, this house in your name. The next best steps, now that you have the numbers, would look like this. You say yes, we go and get you on the schedule, we get it processed, we get it delivered, we get you set up with our account manager, and you become one of our latest customers. Paint the picture for this person. There's a good chance they've never done something like this before. So a proposal is going to be a good opportunity just to collect information and collect data as well. They say, oh, you know what? Hey, Mike, thanks for the numbers. You did exactly what you said. Give us all the information. We're going to go and take this and we're going to think on it. Hey, I'm with you. Perfect. But now you've got information, you've got data, you've got their email, text number, phone number, whatever that is. A mistake in the proposal is not doing one. Hey, they said they weren't buying today. Overqualified them again. They said it was too much money. Not going to waste any time on a proposal. I want them to commit first before, I waste some time giving them a proposal. It takes time to do those. Not willing to invest time. Sometimes you're just avoiding rejection. I don't know if they're going to do it. And I'd rather just not even give them a proposal because I don't want to be rejected. Or you know what? He seemed like he was a pretty tough negotiator. I don't want to get involved with this. Right? If he doesn't want to just buy it, I'm not even going to try for it. So I'm trying to avoid negotiation. So I'm not going to give him a proposal. Mistake. Closing, the critical exchange point. Guys, the reality is value has not been exchanged until you close. So be the train in the war zone. People get weird and wacky when you spend money, when they spend money. So if you can be the stable one that's calm, cool, collected throughout this whole process, your customer is going to appreciate you for that. Okay. At the end of the sales cycle, there's a good chance to say, sorry, I was being so crazy. All right. So when value exceeds price, price is no longer an issue. Be prepared with multiple closing lines. We're rounding out here, guys. I appreciate you tuning in with me today. We're running about this 30-minute mark, and I want to respect your lunch and time, so we'll breeze through the rest of this. And I invite you guys to connect with me offline, LinkedIn, whatever you guys prefer. I'd love to learn more about you, your company, and what you're looking to accomplish, you know what I mean, with potentially doing some sales training. So be the trainer in the war zone, be the stable one, have supporting documents. If you were a lawyer and you showed up to a court case, you'd have lots of supporting documents, data, information supporting your case, right? Have a confidence that you can come to an agreement. Ma'am, sir, I know it's a lot of money. And it's a bigger decision than you've ever made before. I'm confident that we can come to an agreement, okay? So keep emotions out of it and always ask one more time. There's requirements for closing a sale. You got to have the decision maker. You have to have the wherewithal, right? You got to actually be able to afford it. You got to be sold on the product. You got to believe in you. You have to have confidence in the product that it's going to solve a problem for them. They have to have a written offer, and then they have to have some urgency. Why this? Why now? Closing. The reason closers fail. Oftentimes, we just never attempt to close, right? Pressure is perceived as the bad things. We're usually unwilling to deal with emotions. Maybe we've had a bad week and we just don't want any more turmoil in our life. Maybe you've got a lack of belief, no financial plan, right? I'm okay being reasonable, right? You need to be unreasonable in sales. You'd be doing yourself, your customer, a disservice if you didn't allow them to leave with your product or your service, okay? Sometimes you guys are handling objections that are complaints. Hey, the price is too high. And then you want to go and like find him a discount. It's a complaint. He's just complaining. Doesn't mean he's not going to do it, right? Handle objections as complaints until they are validated as true. And sometimes you got a shortage of closing material. I don't have enough things. I don't have enough rebuttals, okay? Because there's usually 5 categories. It's usually the product. It's just a stall. I don't have the time to use it. It's the money, can't afford it, or the price, too much. Follow up. The fortune is in the follow up, okay? So be last, be first, be last. Never rely on one form of communication. Text, email, WhatsApp, calls, voicemails. Get creative and collapse time because speed is certainty. The faster they can hear from you, the faster they're going to do business with you. Follow-up facts. 2% of sales are made on the first contact, 3% of all sales made on the second, 5% of all sales made on the third contact, 10% made on the fourth, 80% of sales made between the 5th and the 12th contact, and 48% of salespeople quit after one call. Doesn't take very much to be on the top, okay? So phone calls, texts, emails, personal videos. I love sending personal videos. Reach out to them on social, personal office visit, gimmicks, you know what I mean, collateral, and thought of use. Objections, guys. I could go 2 hours on objections, and I invite you, if objections is something that your team could get better at, reach out to me. Love to help you guys with that one-on-one. So treat objections as complaints. I talked about that. Treat them as complaints versus reasons to actually not do it. Do you want to be right or rich? It goes back to being agreeable. Hey man, they could be saying something crazy and it's totally false, right? But be agreeable. I'd rather them be right, and close the sale and get closer to being rich, okay? Leave your ego aside here. Leave your emotions aside here. You're going to find objections in all parts of the sales process: the reading, the demo, the fact finding, the closing. And finally here, rounding this out, objections. There's steps to handle these. Write this down. First, you're going to listen to the objection. You're going to acknowledge the objection. Hey, I completely understand what you're saying. I'm with you. I agree. You're going to isolate. Hey, other than the price, is there anything else that concerns you? And then we're going to validate or discount it. Hey, I understand, man, the price, that wouldn't keep you from doing it, would it? Well, maybe not. Got it. Hey, I know you said price. There's got to be more than one thing, right? Probe the single objection. There's got to be more than just the price. There's got to be something else. No, that's it, Mike. Okay, got it, understood. If it's nothing more, tying down, if it's nothing more than the price, follow me this way and we can see what we can do about the price. Listen, acknowledge, isolate, validate or discount, probe to the single objection. Is that sure? That's it. Nothing more. Tie down. Other than this, if we could handle it, something you would be interested in doing, close that deal. Okay, some secrets about this. You are the creator of the objections that you receive in your life. Oh, the price is too high. I'm going to wait until I got to think about it. There's a good chance that you go into stores and you say these same things. When you go to make a decision, you got to think about it. Or I'm going to wait until the end of the month. I got to wait until this. You are the creator of the objections you receive in your own life. Weird, wacky concept, but pay attention to it. The most dangerous objection is the unspoken one. When things are going great, I'm figuring out, man, what aren't these guys telling me right now? Okay. Objections are just complaints, never a reason not to close. Okay. And there's usually only one objection. That's why it's important to handle objections in this process. And guys, that is it. Thank you guys so much for spending 30, 35 minutes with me today. The purpose of this was really just to change your mind about the way you might be currently doing sales, give you guys some more ammunition to fulfill the rest of your week, right? So if you want this presentation, if you missed it, the beginning of it, half of it, just let me know. Happy to send it to you. This is all recorded. And I plan on doing some more of these throughout the week regularly, just as free value adds. Like I said, this is one of the most foundational presentations that helped me start my business, but also foundational steps that I use to grow my business. And it's been 3.5 years. And so it's been proven. We've got lots of companies in different industries that have been using the same process and seeing lots of success. So appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for investing the time this afternoon to grow and develop yourself, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care.